Why did the Dark Phoenix trailer spoil this major X-Men's death? You know how the saying goes, some movies avoid spoilers at all costs, while others just say, F it. Actually, we just made that up. In an age where major blockbusters like Avengers Endgame are going to any lengths to keep their secrets closely guarded, it is almost completely bonkers to see Dark Phoenix just drop a major X-Men death right in the trailer for all to see. It's a move that's either cuckoo crazy or so damn brilliant we won't understand until after the movie is out. So if you didn't get a chance to watch the latest Dark Phoenix trailer, which spoils a major character death, then exit now, because this is your spoiler of a spoiler warning. In the trailer, Jean Grey, aka Dark Phoenix, straight up murders Mystique. And no, it's not really subtle or cleverly hinted at in the trailer. It just kinda happens right there for all to see. In an interview with the writer-director Simon Kinberg, Entertainment Weekly asked what we were all wondering, why? To which Kinberg answered, well, the thought process behind that was to primarily show that this is a movie that is unlike other X-Men movies. It's a movie where shocking things happen, where intense, dramatic things happen. People don't just fall off buildings and dust themselves off and walk away. There's a reality to this movie and a consequence to this movie. Even more than that, it was to show that Jean/Dark Phoenix is genuinely a threat to everyone, including the X-Men. All right, so Mystique's death is in the trailer to give us a sense of the stakes of the movie, but there are plenty of ways to show someone's gone evil and is out of control, so why this one? Kinberg continued, I felt it was the strongest, most dramatic thing for the movie, and sometimes you have to make those kinds of hard decisions to service the larger story. And the larger story really is Jean cracking up, losing control because she's more powerful than anyone else in the world. To dramatize that properly, you have to show real loss. I didn't want to do that by her blowing up a building with anonymous people in it. It had to feel really personal for the X-Men, and I wanted it to be something that would fracture the X-Men as well. Okay, so we're following the thought process of making the death personal to the X-Men, but this still doesn't explain why Mystique's death had to be spoiled in the trailer. Plus, we've actually seen a very similar setup before in the X-Men franchise, in The Last Stand when Jean Grey goes home and kills Professor X. EW asks Kinberg about the similar scenario in Dark Phoenix. When I was writing, I wasn't conscious of it, to be honest with you. As I started editing it, and you go from being purely creative to being a little more objective after you finish a draft, I was like, oh yeah, this is something from X3. But it's certainly not meant to be an homage, and it's a very, very different sequence. Interesting. Well, we haven't heard an actual reason the death was spoiled in the trailer, but if you wanted to read between the lines, Mystique's death may have just been an easy way to give Jennifer Lawrence the out that she's been wanting for a while. After all, J-Law has made it known before that she was lukewarm on returning as Mystique and dealing with the obnoxious blue makeup process. So this solution gives Mystique an impactful death and Lawrence a reason to not have to hit the makeup chair again. And if we're already talking about repeated X-Men scenes, we saw another character killed off earlier in the franchise to free up the actor Scott Summers' quick death in X-Men The Last Stand, so James Marsden could head on over to Superman Returns. As for whether any other major characters will bite the dust in Dark Phoenix, Kinberg only said, there are certainly other major casualties in this. At the end of the day, even though New Mutants should be coming out later this year, Dark Phoenix will basically be the last hurrah of the current X-Men franchise. We don't know exactly what Marvel plans to do once the X-Men are squarely back under their umbrella, but chances are they'll put the franchise on ice for a while until enough time has passed for them to integrate mutants into the MCU and start fresh with new actors. But what do you folks think? Are you excited for Dark Phoenix? How long do you think Marvel Studios should let the X-Men franchise rest? And if this iteration of the Phoenix Saga doesn't work, will the third time be the charm when Kevin Feige eventually gets around to it? Let's discuss. Be sure to like, subscribe, and mash that little bell to get notified anytime we go live with the show or drop a new video. And if this isn't enough superhero goodness for you, check out the latest episode of Animation Investigation, where the world's greatest detective, Hector Navarro, dives deep into the lost episode of Batman, the animated series that you have got to see. Check it out on Nerdist YouTube right now.